And welcome to the October Pulumi Community Contributor Meeting monthly. I know the words are not in the right order as normal, but that's a lot of words to get out at once. Anyway, my name is Laura Santa Maria. I am a developer advocate at Pulumi, and I am your curator for today, just making sure everything goes along smoothly. Just as a reminder, this call is being recorded and will be posted publicly up to YouTube. So if you are uncomfortable being on the video, please do mute your video, mute your sound, and I will be more than happy to take any comments or questions in the chat and voice them for you. And this call does fall underneath the Pulumi open source code of conduct, which basically means please do be excellent to one another and take care of one another because we are all part of the same community. With that being said, we don't have a ton to cover today in terms of topics, unless people brought some topics with them. I do have one quick announcement. Due to the number of typically low quality pull requests that come to a lot of open source repos with Hacktoberfest, I know people have been asking about, can we have the Hacktoberfest label on the repo? And the answer is that unfortunately on all of the, at least on all of the Pulumi official repos that are open source, we do not have the ability to continue to handle all those low quality ones and still get all kinds of cool stuff out on the open source projects. So we don't do Hacktoberfest in general. However, if you submit a pull request and would like it to be counted for Hacktoberfest, we are happy to add the label. You just need to let us know that you would like us to do that. But otherwise, that is the quick announcement that I had, and I'm going to mute in case people have things they want to bring up. You all are missing the silent Jeopardy theme song going through my head.
Do, 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 do.
See? That's exactly what's going through my head right now. Well, yeah. I have a feeling a lot of people are prepping for KubeCon, reInvent, whatever else is going on. So I'm sure a lot of the normal folks that hop onto this call, or people who have thoughts or comments about contributing, generally don't have the brain space right now to do that. So I guess one last note, we do have Cloud Engineering Days coming up the first week of November. If you don't know what that is, please do check the description on the video or ask me in the contribute channel on Slack, on the Pulumi contributor Slack. And I am happy to drop a link about that in there. So if you'd like to come attend, we'd love to have you. And on that note, last call for comments, questions, topics you'd love to talk with the rest of the community about.
Maybe a small call out to Fraser, maybe, to see if from the engineering team, he is working on something marvelous that he can share.
Ooh, put on the spot, Fraser.
Oh, I'm working on so many things at the moment. I can comment on things that are hopefully coming out soon. Update plans is hopefully leaving experimental. We are just working out exactly how we want to do that rollout. The long-term vision is that every update will pretty much always have an update plan applied associated with it, except for times where we can't. So if you run up, skip preview, there's nothing we can do, obviously. But long term, we want every up, because normally up does a preview and then the actual update, we want to take those previews, save the update plans from them, and then make sure that the update that happens afterwards is constrained by that update plan to match the behavior of people who are doing explicit previews with save update plan and then passing that plan into their up call. So we're just working out exactly how to roll that out at the moment, but that's probably coming out soon. Other interesting stuff coming out soon, hopefully. is from our last hack week, we are going to have timings on all our resource operations now, which looks really nice. And we have some future plans to also put some estimates on those timings. So rather than just kind of saying like, it's making some virtual machine and it's taken 3 seconds, it would be like, we're making a virtual machine, it's taking 3 seconds. And based on all the data that we have in the Pulumi service about this resource, we expect that it will take about 40 seconds. That looks really nice. But the first bit's coming very soon, probably I think next release. The other bit sometime later once we work out how to store all that data. And I think the last thing is another hack project is Shimless. Is the internal name for it. The more user-friendly description of it is basically providers and components in every language well supported, basically. We want to be able to write a provider in TypeScript, and rather than you having to package it up using something like Versal to make it a plugin, we would just be able to say, well, we know how to run node programs. We run node programs for normal Pulumi programs. So let's just run your provider like that. And it should make debugging and like developer iteration on these providers a lot easier, because you won't have to like go through a whole build process every time. You just point your examples at the source code and it will just, Pulumi will just run it. And I'm hoping to bring at least .NET, hopefully Java as well, into alignment with the other languages in terms of components and providers, so that people will be able to write both of these things in whatever language they like.
And that would require the runtime to be available for those to execute if you were referencing them?
Yes. We have another idea, which will have to come after this, which is looking into things like WASM or Docker, Podman, etc., to do containerized or WASM builds of providers and components. The idea being there that someone might write something in Node, and you might be a Python shop, and you're like, I'd like to use this Node thing, but I really don't want to care about having to keep Node up to date, but everyone's got Docker installed. Can we just like take this Node plugin and just get Pulumi to automatically wrap it in an appropriate Node Docker image and then run it? So we'll be looking at that. Great. Obviously, we have to get Shimless shipped first, but yeah, that would probably be a follow-up on top of this. Yeah, the long-term sort of vision for these things is we really want like a really strong multi-language ecosystem. Like, we want everybody to be able to write in their favorite language. That's kind of a big point of Pulumi. But the IAC ecosystem is only so big, and if we fragment it by having sort of like a Python Pulumi ecosystem, a Java Pulumi ecosystem, all of these like communities will probably be too small to do anything interesting. Well, if we can get everybody to work together and use each other's stuff seamlessly, that sounds quite powerful. Sort of like, I used to come from the .NET ecosystem, and like even all of .NET is surprisingly small compared to like some of the like larger open source ecosystems like Python. But then most of the Python ecosystem is in machine learning, not in infrastructure. So yeah, we kind of want to make sure that we can get as many people together as possible so that we get the best benefits.
Super cool. Thanks for sharing that. I'm looking forward to it.
Can't think of anything else that's coming out soonish.
That's
Awesome.
already a big load, Fraser. Thank you for that. And sorry for putting you on the spot here.
That's
okay.
Great. It's great. They're very really cool stuff going on. Well, all right, folks. With that being said, thank you for the prod, Rango, to make sure that we didn't have a very, very short contributor meeting. But I'm going to call it at that because I don't think we have a ton else on the agenda. But anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, always feel free to leave a note in the contribute channel on the Pulumi community Slack, or post up on our YouTube channel in the comments down below, and we'll make sure that we get you a response. So on that note, thank you all for coming, and have a lovely rest of your October.